they were running basically as much lane domination as you could possibly get. Lina was in 60 to 70% of their games, either banned or picked, and she just fits so well into this lineup. And it's one of those heroes too, which Limp has proven time and time again. It doesn't matter what matchup he's up against, he's still capable of winning because he just gets up in your face time and time again. You burn through all your consumables, and there's just nothing left in your lane. It's difficult to play against.
I would definitely say Nip had the advantage in draft this game. I think in the first game, Vega had a nice draft, but I feel between the Nyx and the Rubik together, you have two heroes that are going to be hard-pressed, I think, to contribute in some meaningful way in the early mid-game, whereas Nip, all of their heroes are great skirmishers. They have good team fight. I would definitely say that Nip have the superior lineup.
Do you think the Witch Doctor last pick was a good pick? And why do you think they chose that? Because I don't see any obvious reason to get a Witch Doctor this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering the same. Just between the Disruptor alone and also having the Flare Vision and Hookshot, it's going to be so hard for him to actually get good ultis off.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be big.
Boy. Oh, God.
This is going to be big.
The series right here, Toby. Here we go.
Seema, where's that first stun? It's going to be the Ignite on him, and this is actually better that Seema gets called out because he gets a 4-man stun with the Telekinesis. Now Solo with a Paralyzing Cast can buy some extra space, but it's only so they could run away to fight another day. They do not want to be here. They've actually managed to avoid this entire fight because no one's on the front lines that has a stun.
What? Okay, Clock might actually catch up. If he skills battery assault. Nice skilled Cogs.
He's going to get off another lift, another stun. Seema just keeps on walking backwards. Don't tell me this little Grand Magus is going to get away.
They could turn that if Latrec wanted to go.
It seems he is. Oh, that looked like potentially 3 hero kills, but went for the Ignite level 1. Normally the better killing ability, but allowed Rubik to get off the Telekinesis stun as a result. And he does end up escaping. I wonder maybe... Level 1 Fire Blast is not that good normally, but maybe in that situation would have been better.
All right, we've had Sint and Draskell now leave us that the fun and games is done before the foghorn was able to sound. So we got Negro trolling from NIP with the Disruptor, Ogre, as well as the Gyro together. Really solid lane for NIP. This does mean that the Clockwork is having to go one-on-one up against the Nyx Assassin, but up close and personal. Be careful of the Spike Carapace timing.
Yeah, good lane for Clock here. He's got much higher kill potential early on, because if you ever catch him in the Cogs, then he's likely to die. So I think that's a pretty good lane for NIP. This tri-lane, we're going to have to see it. The Ogre is just a nice hero to have. There's a couple of squishy heroes here on Vega, but you don't want to get up close to the Gyro, and Ogre can be the hero that walks it and looks to start it off early on. So I think I would at least slightly favor NIP in the tri-lane.
Yeah, I would agree. There's just so much damage you can do it in such a quick succession as well. NIP could find an opening very, very easily. At the same time, we do have to keep our eyes very closely on this mid. If you're looking for a lane that can basically go up in fire, this is practically it. It's Lina with that initial stun and slave and just quick damage out from both sides of the fence. Because the SF, he might go for raises once he hits that level 3. That's 2 sets of raises. Or 2 levels of raises, sorry. But then you got 3 times that double raise. It's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt a lot.
Do want to take a look at the warding situation here on the bottom side of the map if we have a moment. There always could be a clash, so we'll try to do it quickly. It looks like the pole camp did get blocked. They failed on their first D ward. I'm not sure where the other sentry is if they have one. Still in their inventory, but they're not able to get off the poles right now. So that is a bit of an advantage to NIP, though. This could be bad.
Pick him up, but they missed the stun. They dragged back into the stun.
That was first blood if they hit that.
100% on the money if they got it, but maybe Pasha felt like the telekinesis dragback was a little bit further. It is a very difficult coordination to get, especially when you reposition the target.
I think Hanske was going for the... I think he's already got Glimpse skilled up. Is that correct? I believe he does. And
yep.
Yeah, he went for the level 1 Glimpse, but that has a very low range, and unfortunately wasn't able to find the opening.
It feels like a way to secure the kill once Gyro already starts with the Rocket Barrage.
Yeah, if they get the Glimpse back and they follow up with the Ogre stun and Fire Blast and slow, they're going to get the kill there. So, unfortunate for Vega. Well, they'll be looking for better opportunities moving forward. But so far, Gyrocopter is handily winning this tri-lane as far as it goes farm-wise. The Leshrac only 4-3 to the 10-7, or now 11-7 of the Gyrocopter mid lane. So far a wash. Generally, we see Lina having the edge here just once she hits level 6. She's got the higher kill potential. Shadow Fiend, it's difficult in a triple rage against a hero that has as long attack range as Lina does. So I think Lina has the edge here, but so far he's farming excellently for no one, and it all comes down to if Limp is able to get him low enough that the Lina ult would be a kill.
See, that's the crazy thing too. It's like, what does the SF really get that he doesn't have early? When you hit level 7, then you got your 4 points up in Razor, so you got your good damage out from that. But Lina all the time is pounding into you. This is the reason why NIP really prefer a hero like Alina, because there's no period of the lane after level 2 where she can't combo you, where she can't drop your life down quickly. And as it gets up in further and further levels, you've got combo after combo, and it's not as though it just tails off like, oh well, like SF, I throw out my 3 races and that's all. I got some physical damage, but that's it. Lina then gets Fiery Soul buff up. In fact, Limp's already got it here, so then you're also increasing the physical damage output. So your damage over time is actually not damage over time, it's not dot effect. Your DPS is rising and rising and rising as well with this Lina, plus you then have burst damage on top of this, which then makes you so fearful as a laner. This is why NIP keep turning to the Lina in times of need.
Yeah, and the thing that I worry about here for Vega is they definitely need levels on their supports, especially the Rubik. And with the pull camp block, last game we saw them getting off pulls, this game they're not. And in that sense, the tri-lane not going very well for them. Once the 2 offlaners who are actually getting a 1v1 matchup hit 6, this lane could get very ugly quickly. I think if you're NIP, you want to have sentry wards picked up in the next minute or 2, be prepared for the Nyx rotation, or just have a lot of confidence in your Clockwork's calls. But at that point, if Nyx is off the map and you're not farming, then he's kind of ganky you anyway, even if he doesn't get a kill. We'll see. For now, there's a rotation though.
They get a look.
Shadow Fiend TPing back mid.
Just gotta keep up with the lanes, man. Keep up with the farm for now. At Limp. Keep your eyes peeled, not Laguna. This is the reason why Weapons. I know I feel so sorry for him right now. He'll be sweating like a pig, just thinking.
It's been a while since we've had tri-on-tri-lane action. Honestly, like you don't see it much anymore.
It's poking up here and there. But it's when you've got lanes like this where there's kill potential everywhere. Like NIP, they got more kill potential over on the Clockwork, but you've also got Vendetta available now for the Nyx Assassin. So he's got the potential to give a huge amount of grief to the Clockwork, while in middle lane it's exactly the same kettle of fish. It's Laguna Blade with slaves and stuns and the whole shebang, or razors and all, and bottom lane even dead, like it's Rocket Barrage, just glimpse back into wall, so you got to stay there even longer, and that's the opening that we're waiting for. Lift the damage, that extra level of Fiery Soul which he put into, that's what makes it work, and first blood goes to NIP, and applause for Wepas.
Meanwhile, Seema was thinking about an opening. They might TP at the Clockwork. Here he comes, Static Storm, or rather Kinetic Field getting dropped here. Now Arrow moving on forward with Handskin. Jonas is in tow, he fires up the rocket. He's going to look for the follow-up hookshot, perhaps. No, he lets him go. So it ends up being a 2-for-0. But with the Clockwork being forced to TP, so at least Nyx gets a little bit of extra farm top for now.
That's an upside. I'm actually surprised Mag didn't instantly TP down there the second he saw the Clockwork, expecting that follow-up push shot. You're 100% right to look for it. You TP down there, you're looking to actually make something happen. But I think the extra stun...
Oh, they want to get a bigger target here, perhaps. They're going to bring in the Rubik towards mid. It is nighttime right now.
And the Observer Wall, which is already down for Vega, is going to see that movement coming in.
But there's also a Hell Ward for the Dire, so unfortunately there won't be any kill potential. I think they just want to start getting their supports levels. As mentioned, the pull camp got blocked earlier, so they'll send Shadow Fiend to the jungle. Rubik will get a little me time on the mid lane. And since the Clockwork just TP'd, I guess they're not too worried about the gank, though, right as I say that.
Nyx is still farming.
He's near mid now. This Clock maybe tries to make a play on the Rubik.
He's trying to keep himself hidden. It's the fear factor, I think, Unicorn Farmer's going for. You don't know where he is or where he's going to pop up. So because of that, the SF has to play a lot more defensive. Your bottom lane's worried. Mag is still thinking, I don't care. He can hookshot in on me. I'm going to spike Carapace and Vendetta, and good luck to the little son. He's not going to be able to achieve anything. And now they actually get some vision here because the rocket comes from nearer towards the base, so Vega can come back out in the lanes.
He's now got the most CS in the game. That's how long the Clockwork was off the lane. 17 CS disadvantage. I think when he left it was like 3 or 4 CS differential, so... I don't, honestly, given that TP's not really worth it. They got the 1 kill without him, and I mean, frankly, he wasn't even needed for it, so I don't think it worked out at the end for NIP that he moved in there.
I think the idea, though, behind the rotation is just that NIP are looking for momentum. They want to snowball with this lineup, and this lineup is one of the best to snowball with. So if they can just find a couple of pickoffs, then pushing down that bottom lane, we're not going to take out the tower straight away, but it's establishing real lane dominance. And they probably would have assumed, too, with the hookshot in, that the Nyx would be forced to TP.
Yeah. I mean, that's where NIP are looking very prepared for Nyx. They've got one Sentry Ward mid. It's partially to deward a potential Hill Ward, but also to dodge the Nyx ganks. And there's also one near the trees in the bottom lane, I believe, protecting the tri-lane. So excellent anticipation by NIP. And, you know, it's something that you take for granted if you see Nyx every game. But with Nyx being kind of a niche pick, it's something that even experienced teams sometimes forget to do. So
this is really
well
nice
played
though
by NIP early on.
This is really nice for a Nyx though. Like, he doesn't need to come and gank.
He's just farming, man. He's going to have a really fast blink at this rate.
Oh, I'm actually wondering if Blink is the best choice here, or if it's better to go into something which is going to help you secure these kills and lane not lane dominance but map presence, and go for something like an earlier Dagon and hunt heroes like Disruptor or I don't want to say Ogre, but potential getting a kill on the Lina. I know that like Sid and Draska was saying that you could sacrifice it a little bit and go for a more intelligence-based build. And this makes you a lot more squishier to attacks.
Team, who's found whom here is the real question. Limp's like, oh, where are you going, you little cheeky bugger? Get the hell out of my lane. Now the glimpse, but not a very good glimpse, and it's on a hasted Shadow Feet anyway. So in the end, NIP forced to rotate in 2 heroes to protect their precious Lina. I definitely think Dagon's a good item this game, but I don't think it's the first item, because when you look at their draft, who else initiates it?
Yeah, it's not much there.
If they don't get a blink on the Nyx, it's up to the Rubik. It's either the Nyx walks in, and I don't think you can count on that against NIP. They're a good team. You can't really expect your opponents to never buy sentries or be prepared for ganks. So.
It's that greedy kind of play, which I don't say we saw from Vega before, but it's just a space creator item, which is coming to my mind. But you're right. Blink is a lot more standard, and
I still think Dagon's good, just not as the first item. This game.
The only issue I'm going to have is like if you get to a point with Lina when she picks up an Aghanim Scepter, you've lost your window, and the Dagon kind of goes out that window. The Disruptor you can still pick off, but you're never going to burst damage down an Ogre Magi. Like, guy's got 2 heads and 2 asses, which have a lot of padding in it. And Clockwork is very, very tanky by nature, and so is the Gyrocopter. So I'm not seeing him having any real success with these heroes without having someone else behind him.
It's also a really good Force staff game. You're up against Clock. Force is great when they try to go on you with the Disruptor. You can maybe force a teammate who just got glimpsed out before the kinetic field rises up from the earth. So I think even just getting the more standard items on Nyx could be a solid choice here. They picked a very cookie cutter draft for Vega in general. And I think they're just looking to go back to basics in this game. Don't try to win through any sort of flashy plays or crazy picks, but just play solid Dota. And so far, it's a much more even game than the last one that we saw.
Well, then again, our game was very, very even until that 5-0.
It just takes one fight. Either way, and the game could get blown wide.
I think NIP should also be very, very careful walking through this kind of river because of exact this reason. He was too close to the wall. And now Disruptor's caught in the hillside, and the courier's here. Okay, that's going to give a TP. You should give a TP over to that courier. And Hanskin won't remain there for long. But it burns a TP scroll on him and a cooldown timer on it.
It's maybe where you even consider trying to make a play on mid or top, knowing that the best counter ganker outside of the Clockwork is no longer available to make that rotation. But
the mid play is difficult though, because SF could just back off like he just did then and farm up the jungle. So
no, I'm saying you could go after NIP. Okay. Knowing that the Disruptor can't TP to counter gank. So maybe they try to go on Lina, but for now, it doesn't seem like it. And again, the Lina just has such good warding protecting her. The Sentry, as well as the Hill Ward, a bit north of the, or rather, to the west of the tower. So very difficult to find the opening.
NIP are burning so much money for sentries.
It is. It's the Nyx tax. It's one of the downsides having to play against.
Nyx hasn't left yet. Like, he might have left for maybe 2-3 seconds, and they're like, okay, let's drop a sentry ward down. I think you might be here.
It's working out beautifully. How weird is it to say that? The fact that this Nyx is just sitting in his lane farming is actually better than if he were ganking.
Oh, I love that from Limp.
He's got his Yules now.
Just in case there's an observer ward up on top of the hillside, someone might have slipped inside of Roshan and put it down or something in the lane where they don't have a sentry ward. He TPs the tier 2 tower, smokes up, and then instantly Yule Scepter up on Pasha. Follow-up stun, the wall is there. Laguna was not required for that, but they're gonna find the kill anyway. It's supposed to give you fiery soul stacks, and Seema stunned up again from Seal Kid, and that's a very quick 2-0 and NIP. Oh, he said this Larkin snowball. I'm thinking it may do exactly that, LD.
Oh, jeez. Now he has Blink, and now he needs to get involved. After that, 4-0. More importantly, the tower's in a little bit of trouble here, Toby. I'm okay with the fact that Nyx didn't gank earlier. It probably wouldn't have worked given NIP's positioning and warding, but now you're at a point where somebody's got to make plays. It basically felt like Vega was offensive trialing because they never got to pull, really. They never got much experience on their supports, and let's see what they do from here. Mag getting close to level 10. They also have the mech, so they're getting stronger in the teamfight department, but I mean, NIP have Gyrocopter. They have just a terrifying teamfight carry in their own right, a lot of AoE coming out from the Lina, and a very disruptive here in the clock. So it's one of those games where I feel like a lot of it just comes down to vision and execution. And
Pasha's dead. Pasha is legitimately dead. Limp would just come in, and again, we just rinse, repeat, and then just put it on a reverse cycle so he can go through it again. 30 seconds on the sideline. Lina finds herself another kill. That's 2-0-2. And her reverse rotation down to the bottom lane gives the 2 kills as well.
This is just so defensive from Vega.
I don't know why.
It feels like they've kind of curled up into a shell. And this is a team that normally likes to get aggressive and make plays. They're just sitting back, letting NIP move around the map and control the tempo of the game. And at some point, they have to start making moves, whether it's baiting a potential gank, whether it's trying to smoke and get a good aggressive ward up. You mentioned the potential Hill Warden or Roche. They didn't actually have it, but it could have helped. In other situations, they have to do something. You can't win just by sitting back the entire game against NIP.
And the one thing they can do, which they TP'd in now for, is a Clockwork, who is very, very tanky, and actually had a haste rune. If Mag doesn't hit this perfectly, and in fact, Unison Bump... Oh, all right. Well, we're playing the line dance. Unison Bump, how much damage have they got? It's enough for the SF there. These are your 3 cores you bring to kill off 1 Clockwork.
Good news is they're not dying bottom. that's the best part. If all 3 of them get top, there's no way they can die bottom. I think that's kind of the mindset here for Vega.
Optimist LD.
The good news is Shadowfiend has been farming like an absolute monster this whole time. 121 CS at 14 minutes. It's almost 10 CS a minute.
It'll make a difference though once he has his BKB. The mech is sort of okay kind of thing, but until he gets a BKB, I'm not really going to feel his presence in the fight.
But once he gets it, Toby, they have they have only the Lina Ags against it, and not for some time will she have it. I think she's got one component. Yeah, the Ogre Club coming out. Could be a BKB as well. We'll see, but either way.
It's Ags. It's the way Limp builds it every single time. And there's very little reason for him to get a BKB in this fight. Sorry, yeah. He's going to be looking for the just kill them all style build.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game for Vega now is just about playing around the Shadow Fiend. They need to get mileage out of his early farm and momentum. They're going to smoke with Seema and Solo. The rest of the team's off top. They've got 2 cores out. Uh-oh, there's the Glib. Static Storm was waiting for this. Era's also in position. And
the TPing in.
Another death for Pasha, but here comes the backstep. No, Limp found the initiation first. Gets up the ults on Solo. And now the Stolen Rocket Dodge going to work on him. The cooldown coming through. And the backside is no one. The Laguna ends the poor little Rubik. And now the Death Ward starts to come out. Solo. Bit of a zoning Death Ward. They need more damage here. Mag walking forth, but they've got vision on him. They get off the Thunderstrike. And now the hook in. Isolates Mag completely. The Lina stun comes out. Was Carapace still? Mag desperately trying to do something. He gets off the stun, but there's no follow-up. Shadowfiend's already limped away, and he does manage to blink out. Mag on the retreat, successfully escaping, but the Glibs, it's Hanskin again and again, making plays. 8-2 now.
The one which they set up in the lane, NIP. We all mentioned it so much during the first game, but their vision is just superb. They knew where the fight was going to come next from Vega. Vega knew they won. Like, NIP knew Vega wanted to fight because you got the blink dagger on the next assassin. Everything was just leaning towards this. They saw the mech on the SF. It was leaning out to a 5v5 fight. And NIP, not only did they manage to bring down one of the critical targets at the start, which is the Latrak, caught him out at the bottom, dead before the fight even begins. Your 2 supports, your Witch Doctor and your Rubik, who you need to have there right behind, causing chaos, were on the wrong side of the fight. They're on the northern part, trying to work their way down through their own jungle. The rest of Vega's cause were they're TPing into the tier 2 tower, which they had to wait for them to arrive, and they went in one by one, and
it was
NIP isolated them.
Lina was just quicker on the draw. She got up the Ult Scepter before Rubik could lift, and that completely screwed any chances of the backstab working. And just like that, Vega actually had an experienced lead. I think mostly thanks to just how efficient the Shadow Fiend's farm has been, but it's all gone after one fight.
Yeah, this is NIP. Okay, your experience lead is going to be nice for a couple of levels, but what's it really getting you? You get your Death Ward level 1. It's not going to really mean that much for another 10-15 minutes until you get up to level 2. And really, you want to have the Aghanim Scepter on him before he's going to really cause a lot of havoc for NIP. And even when he did, that Death Ward lasts for a grand total of 1 second. Because
there's a lot of ways to interrupt it.
The Disruptor used the glimpse to start the initiation on the Latrak, and he just went, boom. Straight again.
There's Glimpse, Yules, Lina stun,
Hook shot.
the hook shot, the cogs, and the ogre stun. Eventually, maybe his 2 stuns.
If he gets the Aghanims.
Yeah, he's not farming a whole lot right now, but this stupid fella often finds a way.
He's a sacrificial dummy right now. But once he has, I don't even if he's even going to worry about getting Tranquil Boots. With the amount of kills which are going on right now, does anyone actually have the Urn over an NIP? Because I'd assume that, yeah, there's actually one over on Hanskin.
As well as on solo, so an Urn on both sides. Definitely a good Urn game. There's a lot of heroes that want to fight at this stage.
I'm wondering too if the other intention of the supports from Vega was to try and just isolate 2 heroes by themselves. Telekinesis first stun. That gives time for, I don't know if we'll keep Malediction or not, but either way, it's like you get the Paralyzing Cask off. He doesn't actually have it, so it would have just been Paralyzing Cask into Death Ward and just try and bring down these 2 heroes and buy some space to breathe for Vega, because right now NIP, they're not only breathing down their necks, they've got a torchlight underneath the shirt. They're seeing everything at Vega.
Yeah, they've had great vision this game, and well, looks like Vega are going to start 5-mana. It's something that Draskell mentioned during the post-game. He wanted to see them group up a bit more, at least try to take advantage of their 5-man. Their 5-man isn't as strong this game, is one of the issues. There's, as you mentioned, so many ways to interrupt the Death Ward. They don't have that reliable, massive AoE stun like a Fissure. Leshrac stun's okay, Cask is okay, Nick stun's okay, but nothing super strong. And, well, this could be that one fight that just blows the game apart if NIP find their initiation here. They're coming for the smoke backstab. They have Limp in the front lines, and here he's going to go. Oh, he's got the Yules. Not going to start off yet. Waiting for solo, perhaps. Now the Death Room comes off, and instantly he goes to work with the Laguna Blade.
They realize where the physical damage will come. Even Unison Farm, a huge hook shot down. He's isolated the SF. Now they have lost their Ogre Magi here in IP, and that's why they're wanting to back up. But Limp still managed to find himself a double kill. Hanskin, not a healthy man, getting lightninged up, slowed up, and then also split Earth to dead with the Rubik Fade bot to finish the job. In fact, he actually stole Slave, hence he had the double nuke during that fight. And that's a really good fight for Vega. Like, yeah, the Lina is getting fatter and fatter, but at the same time, they just took an even trade in a game where they are falling behind so quickly.
Yeah, really nice fight. I felt like maybe it was not the right play to wait so long with the Lina there, as they allowed the, I believe it was the Nyx to get in and initiate the fight on one of their other heroes. Then they canceled the Death Ward, kill the Witch Doctor, but it kind of spread the fight out in a weird way for NIP. So.
You were waiting for something like the Yule Scepter on the Nyx Assassin, wait out the Spike Carapace, and then they could just beat in.
Kill the Witch Doctor right away. It still worked out okay. It's a 2-for-2. It's, like you said, a win for Vega, but not a crushing defeat for NIP either. Yeah. We'll probably look to slow things down now. And I guess the big thing is Lina Eggs is coming for NIP. So, oh no, actually BKB.
Wow.
Okay. It is a really good BKB game. You've got the Carapace, a lot of nukes flying around in general from Vega. There's still Death Ward, but it allows her to be a little more aggressive as an initiator. She can go in now with Yules and just go for the combo. Doesn't have to worry about getting interrupted. But it does make her a bit more. It makes it difficult to kill the Shadow Fiend. I think that's the main issue.
Yeah,
with this.
and that's what I was looking for the Aghanim Scepter. Is that quick burst on the one core that's doing physical damage. You remove him, and then the BKB of the Gyrocopter just becomes 10 times more effective. And not to mention the rest of the NIP lineup just loves life. Yeah, but he goes for the BKB. I suppose at this rate anyway, it may not matter because your Aghanim Scepter's not going to be too far away. It's good stats for now. DSF, though, is still going to be a very, very large problem. With Mech and BKB and no Laguna Blade to get the instant kill, you're going to need to isolate the SF. To start with, it's going to be the Witch Doctor. Limp triggers his BKB, focuses down on solo, and he actually gets the kill straight away. He does not want this Witch Doctor in the fight. You will, however, lose your Urge Magi. A hook shot in. They've actually isolated out no one, and the BKB torn off him. He's caught inside the storm. The Death Bolt, he can't even kill Unison Farm. The Slave, which was stolen from Rubik, cannot actually reach the Clockwork either. So it's still a 2-on-1 trade. The rockets are flying down. There's no hook shot to go in there, but they're still watching Seema's movements. Hanskin, he's got glimpse in 5 seconds time. He'll get the wall up, gets the vision, but there's no glimpse. Actually, he stopped moving. He actually stopped his TP in case the Light Strike Array. Either way, he's dead.
There was the Yules there.
It was the Yules?
I think. Oh, no,
I saw him take a footstep before the Yule Scepter kicked in. I'm wondering if he just thought, oh, glimpse is back off cooldown. It was only 2 seconds, but
I guess he thought the Yules was going to be ready to interrupt the TP. So
yeah, either that or Light Strike Array. It could have been.
I think the Light Strike Array would have taken too long if he tried to cast it because it does have that wind up. But well, Interesting build here from Pasha as the Leshrac. We have not seen a Leshrac rush a BKB in a long time because generally Leshracs are getting their farm early on. But I mean, to me, he's the one here that's really struggled this game out of everyone. The Shadow Fiend dies in that fight, but up until then, he's had amazing farm. Leshrac is the same farm as his Nyx Assassin. And when you look at how the lineups match up, you want a fat Leshrac here. BKBs on Gyrocopter and Lina, they will wear down at some point. And then Leshrac can be the frontline damage dealer, but he just feels like I can't get involved, so we may just see him go straight into BKB here. I really don't think it's an Eggs.
He's a non-factor. At this point, I'd almost say he might, like Pasha might consider his duty to be walk to the front lines, trigger my BKB, and everyone hits me. So then the SF can come in and do his work.
It's really where the clock pick is just so strong. This hero just ruins Leshrac's life until he gets BKB. And even then, he's still pretty good against him because if he gets trapped in the cogs, sure, maybe you can't kill him, but he's not running your team down, and he's not able to make sure all his AoE is hitting multiple heroes throughout the fight.
Hero's actually bypassing his SMY and going straight for a BKB. Now, he could have finished his SMY by now.
I think it's a good BKB game for like pretty much every hero, to be honest. It would not surprise me at all if we see 6 to 8 BKBs by the 40-minute mark. Just so much magic damage, a lot of nukes, a lot of stuns, a lot of ways to interrupt channeling abilities here, like the Requiem, the Death Ward, all very important to make sure you get them off.
Well, looks like it's Vega's time to smoke and move. Try and find this kill is coming. The smoke's coming out in the courier at the moment, I believe, for the Witch Doctor.
Mid, though. And they have the Witch Doctor heal, as you mentioned.
That's kind of fine.
So Yasha now being built by Shadow Fiend. He's going to take the tower as the frontline siege engine. Do they want to make a go on him? Oh, they glyph, and now Hamsky looks for the glyph. Oh, BKB dodge, but they force out the charge.
And that's more than worth it for NIP. The lower that immunity is for the SF, the better it is for them.
No, definitely worth it. And it's no cost, really.
Look at the size of that raptor. It's just so big, like
it's almost pay to lose. It's like easier to click, I guess.
Like that raptor is just like inspiration for all Jurassic Park movies. It's just bloodlust.
It is pretty cool, I have to say, but yeah, it's quite intense. Makes the hero look like a midget.
Everything's just so big. Lina is even like no. She's amplified herself in a way of size. But NIP, it's. Now I want to see their warding game, because this is something which NIP, like, they've been fantastic throughout the series so far. And also we got an aggressive ward from them over on the, just over on the Dire, on the Radiant Ancients. So they can keep tabs on that, but there's nothing inside the Radiant Jungle now. You left another ward which is sitting next to the Tier 1 tower in mid, but alright, take it back. Did that just time out? Sure, I saw a red dot. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's the NIP ward. So yeah, they see everything. In fact, they may kill everything now. There's no... Actually, there is the BKB up and running.
That's 2 charges for nothing.
What, is he down to like 7 seconds now on this thing?
I think so. Yeah,
it's 6 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
This is what Sin was talking about in the previous series. You look at the SF, you trigger your BKB just to walk in. Oh, wow, okay, glimpse back, Seema, you're dead. But with a BKB, you trigger it, then you're going to get yourself into position. That's like 1 or 2 seconds. And then channeling for your Requiem Assaults. That's 2 seconds. And how long have you got left on your BKB?
That's basically it. You maybe get like a couple auto attacks or raises off, and then you're done. And it's just no risk play by NIP. It's not like they're putting themselves in a position where Vega can go in. They have to back in all these situations, and I think it's just Vega being a bit indecisive. If they want to push, they need to be 5 there, not just Shadow Fiend in front, and then the team runs, and then he runs later, and has to waste the BKB charge. And the bigger issue to me isn't just that the cooldown's been used, but also as soon as it goes on cooldown, then NIP go for an objective. So now they're going to take the tier 2 mid.
Here come Vega. They don't want to let it go. They're smoked up. Look for that paralyzing cast. Mag starts off with a stun. Misses it completely. The Death Ward's going to go. And Unison farm. At least the blade will return off a lot of it. The Requiem assaults up nicely. Not to mention the cooldown, but the first one to die is the Nyx and the Clockwork. They're on the sidelines. The battle keeps going. Liquid and Blade. Libby dies from the Death ulti as well as the Shrek in the middle of the fight. It's 2 for 2 trade-off now. Well, there's a storm where the battle used to be. Hunsky will be able to TP out in time. Yes, he will. The stun does not come down in time. And NIP, well, they still took 2 cores for 2 cores.
That looked like it could have gone very poorly for Vega. When Mag ran in there, he really hesitated, and it looked like for a moment that he was actually going to get an initiating stun. But he got Yulesed, then the fight broke out, calldown came down. Shadow Fiend's Requiem did a lot of work there. He reduced a ton of the incoming NIP damage, and I think if it weren't for that, we would have seen it. Those supports hardly dropped at all. The Rubik and even the Witch Doctor were still at half HP or more by the end of the fight, so we do see the strength Shadow Fiend has at this stage of the game, and I think the other thing is, all they have right now in BKB is just the Laguna Blade if she's completed Ags. I don't even think she has just yet. Yeah, still about 1,600 gold short. They're going to need a farm gyro as this game moves along, or they will have no way to kill heroes like Shadow Fiend, or soon enough the Leshrac, who I imagine either has his BKB or is about to complete it as well.
He'll be getting close. In fact, he's already got it. Big item for him. Maybe now we can stop seeing that net worth drop a little bit because he's at 7.7k at the moment. The SF's got too much weight in his shoulders. He needs Leshrac to take some of it off it. And NIP, well, here's an opening. It's going to be Seema. Battery Assault can actually go for the cock, but he wants to wait until the telekinesis is over before he does such a thing as they just Laguna Blade down the Rubik.
Jeez.
But this is the smoke ache of NIP. This still could be a lot worse for Vega.
Yeah, only losing the Rubik ends up, it's good. At the same time, though, NIP, they're going to look to punish this. They walk into the Roche pit. I don't believe the Radiant team has any vision. They may suspect it, but they don't actually know.
There's not even a ward near it.
And NIP got their aggressive ward. You wanted to see this in the Radiant jungle, Toby. You get it now.
And he walks underneath the sentry ward as well on the way up. So they see the fact that Mag is inside of Vendetta. I believe that's actually prompted a secondary sentry ward to drop. And there's dust for the Ogre Magi. So there's no way that Vega can go against this.
If they go in there, they're going to feed.
Yep, they'll actually lose the game if they go in. Because then they'll just move to bottom lane and push and take the bottom racks.
Well, if not the game, then certainly quite a few of the outer buildings and all of their map control. It would not be a good choice.
You are 1,000 gold away from an Agadim's Lina. We're 27 minutes in, and she's got BKB, Yules, and soon to have Agadims.
And the other issue is that the Shadow Fiend BKB is getting low now. I mean, it's probably 5 seconds.
It's 5 now.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds with the Agadims on the Lina.
He can at least have Manta in a moment. Like, that's one upside.
Yeah. He's going to need it. I mean, ideally, you want to be baiting out some NIP spells on not your main hero, because if it's otherwise, you're going to get wiped out. They do have the Clockwork in position here, maybe looking for a hook shot.
He can go for this, too. He's got a lot of support behind him. But
they found one up Nyx. Is he under Vendetta right now?
He's underneath the Observer ward. They're de-warding out the ward. That's why Unison Fan just lost his extra vision.
Nyx able to scout this out. I think for NIP a gem is in order here. You're up against Nyx. You want to maintain map control advantage. I think they have enough gold to purchase one soon. Ogre, 600 gold. I would like to see one of the two supports buy it. I think generally we've seen Hanskin getting a little more farm priority when he's on Disruptor, at least, as he's a playmaker with this hero. So I think go gem, maybe the Ogre the one to pick it up. But it would really help them against the Nyx, who's been giving them a lot of intel so far in Vega.
Oh, hook shot up. Now it's the Observer ward, but it's a little bit too high. It didn't actually connect on the SF.
They're definitely going to know this is warded now, but unfortunately, the ward's about to expire anyway, so not the biggest deal.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter then. It's one of those things where Vega may even just waste a sentry ward to try and get rid of it. But the 3 sentry wards committed to the top lane already. You can't. They can't keep burning this gold on the Rubik.
Have you gotten to cast this yet, Toby?
The Aghanim set
the Lurker Nyx?
I have not. It is a
lot of fun.
I have not gone all Brood War on Dota.
It's ridiculous. You get the long range burrowed impale, and then you have like the automatic carapace stun in an AoE. So you have basically a 5-second stun if you run it right. It's really strong.
I have a feeling I'm not even going to get to see it.
The way this game is going, it's still fairly even.
It's still up enough that potentially he could get the space to farm, but you want to get this farm now onto heroes like SF and Witch Doctor for the Aghanims or Rubik for anything.
I think the thing that bothers me is less the score or the map position and more just the way Vega are playing. I've rarely seen them look so defensive, so much just as a reactive team. Normally they like to go for plays, but
it's kind of funny.
It's understandable why.
It's kind of funny after their 2-0 victory earlier today, which was like, it was very, very confident from them. But then they play up against NIP and it's this, well, we don't have confidence in our team fighter. If we do, we don't draft the same lanes which have that level of aggression that you're searching for. It's not Vega. I said this in the break too. If Vega get 2-0'd out in the manner they're currently having it done, I'm feeling really sorry for Vega. I hope people don't take a negative view of Vega away from the TI qualifiers. If you've only just tuned in for the playoffs and that's all, go back and look at their group stage games because
they're a lot better than this.
They are. They really are. And Vega deserve a lot more credit than what this series is going to give them.
Again, this game is still pretty close. Vega can absolutely turn it, but
very true.
to me, a lot of it's coming out of the supporting cast here. Shadow Fiend with a 5-second BKB, there's only so much he can do. I feel that's where a big Rubik spell steal could make the difference. What you just pointed out.
Two thumbs up.
The Death Ward could be massive. He's got to be Solo's got to be extremely patient with this because there are so many ways to cancel it.
He's got to keep his distance more than anything else, and it comes down now to Rubik. If he had a position light him, controlling where NIP are going to try and fight this, and Witch Doctor getting himself in position for it. He doesn't have life. Like, Solo went for the raw axe. He wasn't looking for anything else. He's like, as long as I can get my Death Ward off, and I can do some bounce damage, or force NIP away from my cause, and into a chase kind of situation. They're not going to fight this tier 2 tower. There's no point for it. NIP still are looking to try and push, maybe not high ground, but
look at how fast she attacks. It's plus 255.
She's got DD as well.
She actually looks like a machine gun. Oh god.
That is
a Wrath of Lena is going to descend upon the Vega base now. They're up against it, Toby. They got to come home and defend.
She's got bigger guns than any other carry in this game right now. Like, she's just firing on all cylinders, and they're moving over, and the perfect move time as well. So Vega is coming for the tier 2 tower. Now the observers and sentries are up, so again Nyx Assassin can't find an opening, and Solo! The rocket revealed him! Mag being pushed away, just let him die. They can't save him. And Mag, yep, Blink, TP on the other side of the trees. They see him as they walked up to the high ground. Glimpse, everything they kind of had to stop him from TPing was used, and Mag will end up dying in the trees.
It's that ward off to the south in the of where we are now in the jungle. Well, they also have the one up on the hill. They've got 2 wards. One of them spotted those heroes rotating from the big camp in the middle of the jungle, down the rib, and then Jonas just throws out a great rocket. The scout, patient with the hook, he almost shot one that would have missed, canceled it, then shot again, and he found the one hero that can turn the fight, the Witch Doctor. He's dead off the bat, and there's just no way Vega can respond from there.
It is still difficult though for NIP to get up to the high ground. And this is what I'm gonna say something which I'm probably gonna get flamed for later, but hey, that's just my life. Dodge, not gonna happen. He tried it. He actually tried it, but the fancy footwork wasn't enough. But the BKB TP out is, but again, it's on cooldown.
It's like at least 4 or 5 total BKB charges that have been solely to walk away this game. That is not how you want to be using them. This is an item you buy so you can go
Again!
It's because they're leaving their cores in compromised positions where when they get gone on, they have to back.
Yep.
If they want Shadow Fiend up there, the team has to be planning to initiate, but it's also the NIP.
They found an opening, and again, it's going to be Solo. That stun having no effect over on Limp with the BKB, but Laguna played solid by Seema. So they've got some burst damage to work with, and this might be a way to kill off Hanskin.
They don't think they have the range, though. Seema can't get it close enough.
It's still a level 3 Laguna.
It's so big.
That's some really good burst damage. Yeah, what I want to see from Limp before he buys it is actually a Desolator. I think that's actually the way they could end this game, and they could end it and just shred apart Vega.
I would not mind that at all, actually. But even without a Deso, she attacks so fast that she's hitting pretty hard regardless.
Well, the Deso is primarily just for that negative armor and huge attack increase. Like, that in itself is just it's brutal. And it's the tower pushing factor I'm looking for, because I'm looking at the rest of NIP. Gyro is not going to be killing your buildings. Neither is Clockwork. Gyro's getting to a point now where he can buy a Monkey King bar, which gives great damage during the fight, and he does have good damage against the buildings, but it's not how you rip through them, and that's why I think Desolator right now on Limp might be a good way to go.
It could be a really good item this game, and it also addresses the issue of, well, can you finish off the Shadow Fiend while he's BKB'd? Now he's got a Scotty.
BTs.
He's getting tanky, but no. BOTs for now, still good. It gives you a lot more playmaking potential around the map and can help kind of extend your advantage a bit further, but I would not mind some sort of right-click item. A Deso AC wouldn't be bad either, though it is quite a bit more difficult to farm. But hey, at this rate, Lita's going to have 6 slots this game. If it does go on another 15-20 minutes, nobody's slowing her down.
She can basically buy anything to help, like anything she wants to.
They can't kill her right now, unless they completely change stun
She just gets a Skadi of her own. Why not?
Why not?
Why not both?
Once she throws out the Laguna Blade, nobody's beating her 1v1 at that point.
Yep.
Well, NIP gonna slow things down a bit now. Perhaps gonna wait for the next Roshan. He respawns in 1 minute.
Jarrah spent some of his money.
What did he buy?
I don't know.
Oh, I think he got the Dominator.
It was just finishing up the helm of the Dominator. That would explain,
because he had like 3,400 before.
Yeah, so he spent about $1,000. Because if he's gonna spend more of his money, it would just be for the straight MKB.
Probably MKB next. Just kind of the safe choice here to ensure Shadow Fiend can't evade your attacks.
You know they've been walking around with sentries.
Do they have a gem on NIP yet? I really feel like they should by now.
There is one on clock.
Jonas.
So, and he's the man walking the front lines. And, oh, hello, Mag. Hook shot in. Cogs to push him back, which separates the fight even further. Mag's my carapace making it very difficult to finish him off straight away, but they still finish the job. Paralyzing Cast's going to go back into the creep wave, not the heroes, which means the rest of NIP, they can keep chasing. In fact, BKB, that's going to go from no one into the Requiem. Well, he may as well. Yeah, there's a good death wall position from Solo. Keep letting it go right now, because Limp will end up dying, and then it goes into Era. They're all too close. NIP! They're losing too many, but the Storm now is doing this work. Hard's going to pick up a double kill. Era just wants to get out of here. The Stun won't do any effect. The BKB was still up. But NIP, that's the disaster play right there.
Jonas fired a hook into the trees, and he missed the Witch Doctor. He got off an extra like 4 or 5 seconds of death ward because of it, and it cost them the fight. If he hits that hook, I think it's at least an even fight, if not a womp fight for NIP, and the whole team was counting on it. They're like, okay, he's going to cancel it. We're going in, and he just missed. Shit happens, man. It's Dota, but that was a very costly whiff, and all of a sudden, this game is looking a whole lot more even. That was a gigantic swing of momentum.
The big upside for NIP is the fact they did kill off that SF, so he's not getting completely out of control. But the Leshrac survived. That was probably the bigger thing for me. The fact that Lesh is able to get through the fight, that means he can move into his next item.
Finally, he's actually lived for once. This poor guy has been having a rough game. Or at least, I mean, it feels like it. He hasn't died much recently, but Solo. As soon as they win one fight, they're going to give up a kill elsewhere. It looks like completely caught out on his own. That ward off to the left is doing a lot of work, along with the ward that expired a bit earlier in the jungle. NIP. Did they lose their gem, by the way? I didn't actually.
It would have been on the clockwork, and he.
Ogre recovered it. It looks like.
Yeah, looks like he did.
Sealkid's got it. Okay, that's pretty big for NIP.
You've lost your Witch Doctor. I know he's building in for it, but I'm still not so sure about the Aghanims Leshrac in this game.
I think he just thinks it's too late for Bloodstone. Normally the build is the Bloodstone, Octarine Core. I think he's going to go Ags and then straight to Octarine. At this point, he's dying a decent amount, and he's not really racking up kills. Feels like the Bloodstone isn't really worth it.
Yeah, so the Aghanim stats can help you. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, Era, Courier's now bringing out his Monkey King bar. The item slot, more than likely they'll try and protect the Limp. He's the best one to bring up a secondary time, but they're actually going to give it to the Gyrocopter. I would have preferred it on the Lena primarily because, like, she's got so much damage, and by the time they get through her, they're going to go again. Mag, well, that's a PT onto the lane. That's going to be the Lena arriving. And Mag, well, they're not going to glimpse him back. They lost the vision of him, but they do see Pasha.
And they have a hook shot as well. Does Jonas want to try for a play here? He's too late.
A blink away.
Oh.
Now he's too late.
Close call.
That's when you just hope you have that Aghanim Scepter on the clockwork and just keep tossing him out after. Oh, if you had it, fine. Why not throw?
Just in case.
Just in the next 9 seconds, I'm gonna need this hook shot. It's critical.
Well, Vega still playing a bit on the defensive here. Again, the gem makes life a little difficult for them. Is Nyx can't reliably start fights at this point. I think that's where, moving forward, he may want to go into a BKB. Did he actually complete an Ags yet? No, he's close, though. This item can completely ruin NIP's day. Going high ground now it's like they have that ridiculous turtling initiator, like a Bat Rider, a Magnus. We saw Dendi use that earlier in the European qualifier. This item, it makes Nyx a whole lot scarier to try to break base against.
I'm actually hoping he can finish it. But right now, they keep giving all the farm to everyone else. But it's making sure the SF is buyback, more than likely. Because if we check the buybacks just before this next fight is going to begin, so yeah, you got one for SF as well as Rubik and the Gyro and the Lena. So the Lena's going to come back straight away because of BTs.
And Era has the Aegis as well. But here comes the backstab. Vega swinging around from the rear. They want to engage. They might find Sealkid first. Illusion scouting the jump, but no one gets the jump on Sealkid as Pasha moves forward onto Jonas. He hooks in, trying to engage the Requiem, reducing incoming damage. They stole the hook shot. Seema could look to turn this one against Era. Is he going to fire that hook shot? Not just yet. He jams himself in forward, and the Shadow Fiend does heavy work during this time, but the Death Ward gets canceled. Now Witch Doctor on the way out. The Aegis coming back for round number 2. Liv will be brought down. Excellent stun coming out from Meg, but they need a bit more. No one's still fighting his way through NIP. They'll kill her a second time. It's a triple. Oh, Toby, what a hold so far.
Until the last moments when everything starts to explode.
5 dead and an Aegis wiped out. Vega finally finding their stride here. Impressive combo play.
Huge things for the fight. Not only just the stuns, but the fact they took the Ogre out of the fight to start with. So NIP lost a large amount of their control. The Clockwork spent most of his time running away from the BKB Latrak. Like, that's when he just freaked the hell out. And Rubik was the untouchable. Like, he has literally stole Enchantress's ability and sat at the top of the fight and was just dealing ability after ability after ability and tossing around. Like, yeah, he had that hook shot, then he backed up and just tried to just control the fight from above. So Unison Farm's like, yeah, sweet, fantastic. I got my hook shot, I got my cogs up, I don't control anything. No one took out the Ogre from the start, and then Era, with this cooldown, it started to look really good for him, but Solo, there's your Death Ward play. There's no Son available because the hook shot was already, like, they already used it. So what do you got to really cancel them out? You get your stuns, but Mag comes back in for that huge double stun.
There's actually, and while that was happening, they lift up Jonas as well, and from there the fight was lost. To me, they need to prioritize killing off Witch Doctor and to some extent the Shadow Fiend earlier, but like you said, great Death Ward there. They never end up killing the Shadow Fiend until the fight's basically over, and he got off all of his spells, the Requiem, all the raises, got off the BKB, was auto-attacking the entire time, slows down the Gyrocopter's attack speed. Just a very discombobulated fight from NIP, and like you said, I think Rubik probably the most disruptive hero in that fight, along with Mag on the Nyx, who, by the way, is about to get his eggs. 15 gold. So now things get really interesting now. This is essentially a dead even game, and I think if anything, Vega a bit more favored here. Is NIP do not have great solutions for BKB. They have a kind of mediocre level of farm on the Gyrocopter. Sure, he's got attack speed, so does Lina, and they have the Bloodlust, but there's just so many ways to blow these heroes up in fights, and they're just not finding...
They need physical damage from Lina.
They're not finding quick kills.
They need physical damage from Lina. That's where it has to come out from. I thought the Desolator might be a nice little bit of a stopgap thing to help them try and finish the game nice and early, but now with the farm the SS managed to achieve, he's probably even considering... I don't know if he'll be considering the Butterfly, so you've already got the Monkey King bar over on the Gyro. Yeah, he's actually just going directly into damage after the Daedalus.
Once he gets Daedalus, they will have to burst him first, because Gyrocopter, as we've talked about in many casts, he's a spread damage carry. He does not have single target burst, and they need to kill Shadow Fiend relatively early in the fights.
That item is huge for a Witch Doctor. BKB. Now there is only one thing, or a second thing with an upgrade. I don't know how close that Disruptor is to an Aghanim Scepter, but without it, they're not going to stop that Death Ward. He's a long way away.
Well, I think they lost the gem in the last fight with 5 heroes dying.
Yep.
Not sure who's currently holding it here, but NIP are going to... They might have bought a new one.
It's on Mag.
No, it's on Mag. Yeah, they have to be very careful.
But this is just... It's brutal. I'm fairly certain that Blink Dagger is purely for the Witch Doctor. They cannot let him get a duration, like any duration of that Death Ward out. Blink, hookshot, go, cancel, kill him.
The other cool... This does open up some cool options, because you can blink in, just drop the cogs, then immediately hook or force yourself out. I think he has a force step at this point. We haven't actually really looked at him. No force, but he can just hookshot himself away. So it gives him another way to initiate, and then still, without having to sacrifice the clock off the bat. It's something that I actually saw used when Havos was playing Lifestealer one game. I forget who it was. Someone used it against him. This pesky clock would blink in, cog him, and then force staff himself out, and then Havos would have to blow his rage, or he would die. And then you go back in with the hook and actually kill him. So kind of a cute play. At the same time, the difference here is Vega don't have like a melee damage dealer. Everyone, well, Leshrac is fairly low range on some of his spells, but they have Shadow Fiend, good attack range. I don't think it's quite as effective here, but like you said, it can give them the jump on the Witch Doctor and maybe force out a BKB at the start of the fight.
Alright, so, Vega. Where do you make your play here? Do you wait for Roshan? Do you even go earlier? The Gyrocopter now has a Satanic, and we're getting into that zone that we were talking about probably like 5-10 minutes into this game when the momentum was starting to kick up, where it's like, okay, how do you actually kill the Gyro once he has this Satanic, once he has his big 5-slotted items? Because it's a Monkey King bar.
Oh, they can definitely kill him. They have the Death Ward, they have the Shadow Fiend auto attacks. And his BKB has to be wearing quite thin as well, if it's not already down. It's 7 seconds, so it's actually pretty decent for 45 minutes. But
if you take that out, like the initial conversation we had was if the gyrocopter can survive the initial damage, then can they kill the gyro?
I think they have plenty of damage to kill. It's more, to me, it's more. I'm more for NIP. I'm wondering if they can burst anyone because they're not really single target heavy aside from the Lina, but. At this point, even Alina Ags, like you look at the HP pool and the key heroes you want to bring down, no one has 2,600 health. Witch Doctor is 1,600. Leshrac sitting around or above 2,000, and Mag also has Carapace to worry about, which potentially, if you don't have your BKB active, can really hurt you in the fights.
Sim has an Aghanim Scepter on this Rubik. Like, if he can steal any of the ultimates from NIP...
There's actually 5. There's 5 good Aghanim's ultimates he could steal here. Though the Gyro probably the worst amongst them.
Yeah.
Still good.
But still, it's in a global cooldown he could use at any time.
Go, Toby.
So that's fine. And Mag, well, blink up. He's going to go for the first stun. Remember, he's still got that Burrow, Pasha, follow-up stun. They've got Seal Kid isolated. Limp going to trigger off his own BKB and get the hell out of here. They know they haven't won this one. It's only a slave being stolen, so it's fine. But they've just lost the Yoga Majai and Roshan. He's still 2 minutes away from spawning. It's 2 minutes out of the 3.
They do have the glimpse on Hanskin. He's going to find one right now, pulling Mag back in. He did get off the Carapace here, holding Era in position. Solo still has his death ward. He's going to let it fly. Straight onto Era. It goes the hook shot, does interrupt it. Then the cogs come through onto 2. Jonas going to sacrifice himself for the greater good, but is there enough follow-up damage? Sima stealing the cogs, but didn't do a whole lot. But then Era's BKB ends. He gets bounced back, brought down. The Shadow Feed stand stroke. Going to land to Jonas. Will kill him off as well. It's a double for no one, and now the rout is on. NIP forced back. They just cannot fight once these BKBs fall.
Man, they really, really can't. I don't know if we're going to get a quick replay of that one, but it was the Gyrocopter's timing. The Gyrocopter's timing when his BKB went out, it was very similar to a fight that happened near Roshan where he ended up getting pushed up on top of a hillside. Now Pasha, okay, that should be, okay, Laguna Blade in 8 seconds time. He's going to be Glimmer.
Glimmer.
No detection. One creep on the side, but that belongs to the Radiant.
There's 3 heroes here. Shadow Friend wanting to come back in. I think his BKB is about to be ready because it is the...
Hanson's got Blink. He won't be able to catch him though.
Yeah. No easy initiation here.
Yeah, but that Gyrocopter, he triggered the Satanic. Okay, yeah, we get to watch it now. Okay, so this is in slow motion. So Mag is like, okay, sweet. I'll get the double stun. I'm dead. Doesn't matter. Solo goes to town. The hook shot instantly cancels. Was exactly what they wanted. And then the actual isolation of the SF. And Era's like, sweet. I've got this. Switch my treads up. And now Satanic, boom, pushes it up.
And then he got
the stolen cogs. And then boom, down.
Yeah, so first he gets pushed by the cogs, and then he gets cast. So I don't even think he attacked once during the Satanic, and that cost him any chance of surviving there. Really well played by Vega, and it's where BKB's growing low is going to become a concern for both teams here. Carries that get caught out of position can be punished. And in that case, Glimpsy backs Nyx. Not really the best hero to glimpse in a lot of cases. We'll see a Dust getting randomly popped.
They're worried about Mag. Maybe that wasn't the intention, though, because there's a Sentry Wood down the ground.
Does that have a new gem?
Do they... so it's in the hands of Mag at the moment. No, they did not.
No, they did not buy a new one after Mag took it, and he's going to look for something here. I think they also dewarded the hill, which I believe had a ward at the start of that fight. Yeah, Sentry, you see, has been dropped down. That was part of how they knew NIP was in the neighborhood because of that ward, so to make a bit of a difference here. But we're getting to that point where Lina doesn't burst enough. Like, these cores are too tanky. They need more single target burst. So maybe they look towards a Hex on Limp. You mentioned physical damage. That's an option, I suppose, as well, but they just aren't getting any quick kills. And when you don't kill quickly against Vega, you do not win the fight against a Rubik with an Ags. Yep. That crazy death ward, heavy physical damage from Shadow Fiend. We haven't even really gotten to see the Lurker Nyx. I'm hoping it comes into play here more.
He hasn't burrowed once. Now that stun jumping in over on Limp. The Disruption ulti is down, which is controlling up Mag. It's another hook shot, tries to keep him back. But it's these BKBs, which will now wear out for Vega, apart from the one over on Pasha. It's a bit of a cluster right now as the Lina. Well, there's your buyback. She comes back in. No one's so low. The Rubik actually stole the Laguna Blade. And Sealkid, even he's being stunned up with Era next to it. It's a double stun for the paralyzing cuts. Can they finish it? The blink up by Pasha. He'll find it, but can these guys get away though? Solo's on the run from Era. Now he can turn on, well, nothing, just attack damage, and he'll bring down Solo. They have to run away while Hanskin was chasing down the extra one. That was a Leshrac who TP's out safely.
Rubik was not able to recover the gem. He chose just to retreat out. So NIP will get one, but now he's bought a Blink. Blink, Aghanim Scepter, Rubik. This is starting to get scary. now NIP, what do you do? Like, the Witch Doctor's been a big issue. I think Rubik may be a bigger one at this point. He could steal the Lina ultimate. Disruptor's ultimate is devastating. The Clock ult's really good. I think the other two ults, the Gyro and the Ogre potential spell steals aren't as scary, but, well, we'll see, Toby. In this fight, at least no one had to back. He gets off the Requiem here, helps reduce a lot of the incoming damage, but you'll see Pasha surviving for a while. Era commits on him, but you can see he just doesn't kill him quickly. I think he's glimmered in this case, takes a while to bring him down, and no one ends up backing off, surviving. The spell steal was absolutely magnificent. Yep. There was the Glitch play, there was no follow-up for it. Then they blink forward, commit off the Seal Kit. Not sure that was worth it to kill him, as it does end up costing Solo, and at this point the Ogre is frankly the least valuable hero by a long shot on the map.
They're actually battling for Roshan now, so we come back to our live feed. 15 minutes in, Era in trouble on the high ground. He's got to break free with his BKB. Can't even get the call down off. Turns the Satanic on, and in comes your Clockwork hookshot. Can't buy him enough space. The Satanic doesn't do enough work.
He lives! The Lurker survives! Vega now, they found Hanskin up on the high ground. Perhaps did they know? I don't think they did.
That was actually a ping coming up from Hanskin himself. They have no idea that he's up there, but he'll blink himself down now.
And Mag just chilling.
He's waiting for NIP to come after him.
That's the thing, is around the Roche pit, this is where the Lurker Nyx gets really scary. There's so many choke points, so much opportunity for a devastating Carapace stun, for a long-range Impale to come out. It's kind of the same idea as how good he is on the high ground, where when it's more of that congested area where heroes tend to clump up and get caught in traffic, that's where this hero can really excel. And again, BKBs are low now for everyone, so a lot of these heroes are getting stronger as the game goes along as a result.
Can't believe this game's gone on as long as it has.
It's getting really intense now. It just feels like Vega have much more ability to make plays in these fights, mainly because the Rubik has an Ags and there's not enough single target bursts on NIP.
Yep. The funny thing too is I'm just waiting for these BKBs to all be down at 5 seconds. Like, it's immunity! Wait, no, there's actually nothing available now. Because they just come up so early and been burnt so much by Vega.
Yeah, I mean, Hanskin's going to get stronger as well. He just completed his Ags, and the same thing also holds true for Vega. They will also have, I believe all of them at this point are 5-second BKBs, so...
I think all of them basically have the Academ Scepter as well. Like, Latrax got his. In fact, there's only the SF who won't buy one.
There's so many big playmaking supports this game. The Witch Doctor, Rubik, as well as the Disruptor. All three of these heroes can almost single-handedly win their team the game with a really well-executed fight.
I think it's going to be pretty soon that no one's going to sell that mech of his. He's going to need the Satanic during these fights. He's still walking around with just a casual Yasha. That's the only 2 slots that's left which he would be comfortable in changing.
I'm just keeping my eyes on Seema here. This has been a pleasure to watch. I have not gotten to see a Rubik go late for some time now, but here comes Vega. They're feeling like they have the momentum. Shadow Fiend sitting on 6.6k gold, getting to Mushi territory pretty soon with buybacks ready.
Yeah, watch those buybacks.
Could still pick something up.
Those buybacks are so critical right now. In fact, there's nothing available for NIP. The Gyrocop's getting enough money right now that he can buy back once he gets a kill on one more thing. But that's going to be all. And Hanskin's hoping he can find, like, the second foot is placed on that stairwell.
He's looking for
Vega.
the glimpse.
Yeah, he wants to drag him back so you can isolate the hero. If you can bring down one of these Vega players without having to leave your base, you've already won the fight if you're NIP.
And meanwhile, Leshrac did go back for the Glimmer Cape. We mentioned it briefly in the last fight, but I like the way he's adjusted this game. He went for cheaper items that let him fight a little bit more early. Didn't go for the standard build. A lot of players will just see the build that works the most often, and they'll just go for it blindly every game. So that, of course, would be straight into the Bloodstone, then you get your BKB, and then you go Octarine Core, maybe mix in Boots of Travel along the way. But he adjusted the build. He went for the Ags first, after the BKB, and now he's just going what I imagine will be straight into Octarine. So does miss out on some of the benefits of Bloodstone later on in the game, but he's also been able to have an impact in the fights, whereas I feel like he just would have fed had he gone for the standard build here.
All right, what is SF dropping? Is he just dropping the Yasha? Is he just selling the Yasha? Oh, actually, he's got it at the moment.
I think for now you swap out the MKB for the Yasha, and then later on you can maybe complete Manta. I don't think Manta is really the best 6-slot item in this game. I'd prefer to see a Satanic, potentially at some point maybe you even pick up the extra 6-slot or 7-slot refresher just for another BKB, an extra Requiem later on in the game, extra Satanic as well, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, here they come. The Curious lesson arrived, yes. This SF's on the front lines without that new Monkey King bar of his.
A lot of Blink Daggers out as well. Witch Doctor did pick one up, and he's playing awful aggressively here on the front lines. They know the Lina buyback is, I think it's cooling down soon, but I'm not sure if she actually has it just yet. They're looking for the opening here with Mag.
Here they come. Feed into it. There's your hook shot down. They just isolate him. Line strike array. The wall's down. And Pasha, well, the BKBs at the very, very start, diving in very, very deep to chase down Hanskin, who's got his ulti up into the Laguna plate. They've gotten through the strike and went down Solo, but Solo from the trees with the ultimate. That's a big position, but no one's in range of him anymore. So it's not doing any more damage. The SF will finally burn the Aegis small as Unison Pump. That paralyzing cast may not be enough. This stuff is too short. They can't finish the job. The malediction may be enough to pop him before he gets back to base, but you've still got the rest of the fight going. He will end up surviving, so we're still only one player down.
It's 4v3 here, Toby. I don't think they can fight into Vega, not without their BKBs, and they have the cheese still available. The Lurker Nyx can be the zoning hero here if need be. Jonas trying to get in position. He wants to stall this thing out. He's in the trees right now. He's looking for the opening, but he gets lifted before he can throw out a hook, and now Solo re-engages on him, glimmering as well as popping the blade mail, but they haven't actually fully caved in the bottom lane, only getting the melee racks thus far. Cogs getting stolen by Seema. He goes for a play here. He tries for the blink cog and ends up not really doing a whole lot. The call down coming through as well. They stun Arrow. They bring him down. Look at the Nyx assassin. Mag making plays from the ground. He blinks back out to safety. They do catch Seema with a hook shot, but no one has been left entirely unchecked this fight again with the cog steal as Lib finally rejoins the fight. Double buyback prompted. They will get Mag, zapping him away, but there's still 3 buybacks up on the Radiant squad, and the lanes, well, they're kind of pushed. They're not all the way in just yet.
No, but this allows NIP, now after the fight, yeah, they did expend 3 buybacks. It wasn't anywhere near as costly for Vega for it all, but they could start pushing out the bottom lane. If they can force the buyback of the Nyx Assassin, that's at least one thing, or just getting control of their lanes back is even bigger. We're getting to a point soon, too, where Era's going to just realize the fact that he needs to go all out here. Like, he cannot rely on just, well, his current items, and his current damage output. He's the highest net worth for NIP, but the damage isn't scary. The only damage is from Limp, and, well, Rubik's doing more damage than he is right now.
Oh,
and Clockwork, that's big. That's big. If he can get the kill here, he's mainly isolating Pasha. It's a 5-second BKB, misses a stun, but Limp, that's why he's there. The Death Ward's not going to work. They cannot stop Solo. The BKB's working, but Unison Pump, he's around the tree lines. They didn't see him. He could potentially go for another hook shot, but it will be suicide to do so.
Well, in the end, the Lestrak forced back, but does end up surviving, which was the big kill NIP really wanted. They pushed the lanes out, but they're not able to find any additional kills. And, well, looking at buybacks right now, only the Nyx Assassin remaining with one. But we'll get another look at the top fight. The Glimmer Cape on Hanskin does a lot of work here. He takes forever to bring down, and you could see what Solo is looking for. He blinks over the Lina, finds the Death Ward. Unfortunately, NIP, as you mentioned during the fight, were just a little bit too far away. This almost was a Death Ward that hits all 3 for the full duration, but just a bit too short.
Yeah, he actually needed Lina to stay alive just that fraction of a second longer. But both Solo and Seema, they're playing from this fog of war on the tree line.
That is just ridiculous.
I actually can't believe they're going in this deep. Like, this for me is that point, too, where you ask yourself, okay, Vega, finding kills is obviously critical. Forcing buybacks is great against NIP. But remember, you're still going to win the game, and maybe there's one way to do it. We've already started our next team fight as, well, NIP, they've already managed to bring down the Witch Doctor to start with. Pasha in the middle of this fight. Mag's going to join him, burrowing under in the middle of it all. But what's he going to get? Once all over on Era, they've managed to bring down the Ogre, or will about to in just a moment. There goes your Requiem of Souls to kill him off. Slow down that damage as well. Hanskin on the run, and once he got a glimpse to pull Seema back into that Static Storm, as he only managed to give him Thunder Strike. But Era on the run out of here. Mag's getting in front. There's that stun. He's still got Satanic available, so if he needs to turn to attack, he won't be able to anyway. He'll end up dropping. No buyback is available. There is one from Ogre Magi, which has now arrived, but it's a 3-on-4 situation, and you don't have a lot of damage here for NIP.
There's no buyback on Gyrocopter. This might actually be the game. NIP looked like they could potentially close out Vega 2-0, but Vega held strong. They had the one big team fight top, and it's been a steady ascent ever since. A 20k gold swing plus. I think everyone on Vega has stepped up this game. Mag's been magnificent with the Clockwork, or with the Nyx Assassin Aghanim Scepter. No one's done his job, has gotten off the Requiem every fight. Pasha's recovered nicely after a terrible start. Seema has been making huge plays on the Rubik, stealing. We saw the Laguna Blade earlier.
Yep.
We've seen the Cog steal multiple times, the hook shot steal as well. He's been a playmaker. This could be the last fight. In comes Jonas.
That's perfect from Hanskin though. He's able to get that double ulti off, and that's with the Aghanims upgrade. While Eunice and Bonus probably going to die for the cause, they can bring down the Leshrac, bring down the SF. Double Pyjamas are on the way, but it's buying time for the rest of the NIP heroes to come up, especially that Lina, but they're already BTing it. They want to end this, and they want to end it now. Seal Kid's going to drop, Mag drop low for it, but it doesn't matter. They're all dead right now in NIP. The buyback from Disruptor, but they're going for the GG push Vega, leaving the top ranks alone.
Over. This is going to game 3. They couldn't kill the Nyx. Mag just sits there, taunting the Ogre unburrowed. Even got multi-catcher, just tanks his way through it. 5-man down the tier 4. Vega, hang on. And they still have a shot, Toby.
One last YOLO. One last YOLO NIP. Give him something to think about. Yeah, you give that Laguna in. And even when the wall is up, this should be it for NIP. Lip will be picked up. I'll drop him down. Working with the death ward. Good game, well played. 60 minutes and 23 seconds it took for that fortress to explode. And it really looked like NIP had the control from the start, but Vega, patience is a virtue they have displayed very, very prominently in this game.
Finally, they seized some opportunities and took some fights. And I felt like they were kind of passive in that game, but they showed that they were waiting for the right fights. Once they found them, they got aggressive, and ultimately they feel they just flat out outplayed NIP. But with that, we'll welcome back the expert analyst here, Sind Draskell. We've got